Welcome to Open Source Options. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a burn severity map using Sentinel-2 satellite data that you can get for free. And I'll show you how to get rid of artifacts you might see like this, which are actually agricultural fields. We can get rid of those, and I'm going to show you how to do all this today with free data on Open Source Options. Before we get started, you might want to go check out opensourceoptions.com. I'm in the process of creating some free courses. These are full courses, professionally done courses that are free. They're not ready yet, but they will be soon. So if you're watching this video in the future, they might be there for you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to remove some data here so you can see what I'm starting with. Let's remove all these layers. And what I have to remove this would also, and so what I have here, I have 4 layers. These are all Sentinel-2 bands. Let's look at the file names to see what they mean. So these are all from the scene T12 SUH. Okay, so you see all these are T12 SUH. And here, this file name has the date in it. So we can see here 2024 620, 2024 620. This is band 8A and band 12. Band 8A is near infrared. Band 12 is shortwave infrared. We'll use those to calculate the normalized burn ratio. And then I have for the same scene, bands 8A and 12 for July 30th of the same year. So we have June 20th and July 30th. Okay, now in this area, in the early July, there was a wildfire, and I'm going to show you how you can identify that here in just a minute. We might actually be able to see it in the data. Let's zoom out just a hair. Let's see if we can notice where that wildfire is. And you can see it here in the near infrared. You can see very well where that fire is in the near infrared band. Let's just switch between these. So here it is in June. Here it is at the end of July. And you can see how that changed. You'll also notice how some agricultural fields changed. And so we have to account for some of these things as well. All right, let's go in and let's start calculating this. I'm going to turn all these layers back on. Now, the first thing we want to do is calculate the normalized burn ratio. And we want to calculate this for both August and June. And I'll show you why when we get to that point. But let's start by just running the raster calculator. So on the main menu, go to raster calculator, and let's calculate the normalized burn ratio. If you're not familiar with normalized difference indices, in my video on NDVI, which I'll link in the playlist below, and the video on the soil moisture index, which will be linked, which will be in the playlist link below, we talk about those in a little more depth. We're just going to subtract 2 bands on the top and divide by the sum of those 2 bands on the bottom. So our expression will look like this. And let's start by doing this for June. Make sure I select June, and I want to do 8A, which is near infrared, minus shortwave infrared, which is band 12. Now I'm using band 8A here, and the reason I am using band 8A, I will show you, it's a very practical reason. Well, it's because the 20-meter data have band 8A, but not band 8. And the 10-meter data have band 8, but not band 12. So I have band 8A and band 12 in 20 meter. You'll get slightly different results if you use band 8, but they will still be valid results. The only difference between band 8A and band 8 with Sentinel-2 is that band 8A has a narrower wavelength range, which is just fine. Okay, so now we're going to add these 2 on the bottom. Here it does not matter which order they are in. We'll keep the same order, try to just for clarity here. You do want to do near infrared minus shortwave infrared, band 8A minus band 12 on top, and then the sum on the bottom. Let's save an output layer here. I'm going to overwrite the one that I made when I did the test of this tutorial. So I'll click Save, NBR June, Save. I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to say OK so that this calculates. This will take just a moment to calculate, and I will pause the video while it does. All right, we have calculated the NBR for June. I'm going to slide this down here. Now, we don't see the fire here yet. Let's go calculate the NBR for the end of July. We'll do it the exact same way with raster calculator. I'm going to enter my expression here just to make it a little easier on myself. And now we want to do band 8A for July minus band 12 for July, and then the sum of those two bands here, 8A and 12. Make sure that we have the July date for all these images, and we do. Now we'll save this to a file, and this will be our NBR for August. I will overwrite my existing file. You'll be creating a new file, and let's say OK. And once again, I'll pause while this calculates. Okay, and now you'll notice we can really see where that fire was that occurred in July. We can really see that pop out. Now, if we zoom down here to the bottom part, we can see some fire that's not quite as severe. If we turn off our August normalized burn ratio, it appears like there was an existing fire, a fire maybe the year before that happened there. And when we turn this back on over this time period, we have uh, some additional fire occurring, so we can see everything that's changed in this time period. Okay, now let's do some thresholding so we can identify only the fire that happened here. And to do that, we're going to go to our August NBR, and we're going to go to our layer styling panel, and we're going to change this to a single band pseudo color. And then we're going to come down and we're going to change this interpolation from linear to exact. And we're going to change the mode continuous to equal interval, and we'll change the number of classes to 2. Okay. And now we'll have black for unburned, and we will have this yellow color for burned. And well, let's do this the other way around. We're going to have the black color. The top color will be for the burned areas, and we can just double check this by going to our value tool. And if we come over, this is not showing up right now because I changed the symbology. Let's just change this real quick and we'll just get some colors showing up here. So to see this, let's just turn these layers off real quick, and we'll turn on, we want our band 8A from August to be turned, from July to be turned on, which is here. And now we can see where that is. And let's turn this back on. It's not showing up because of the symbology. We can go to our value tool and just get an idea of what these values are. So we can come in here and see that our values are all below 0 for the burned areas, and most of them are below -0.2, it would appear. Okay, so let's come back to our symbology, our layer styling, and let's make this -0.2. And change the color here to, let's try red and black. And that still is not showing up. Okay, so I think I figured out what the problem is, and I told you something that was wrong here. So I have my values here set to -0.2 and -0.5. As long as you're close to that, you should see this happen. The interpolation should be discrete, not exact. Okay, so here we go. Now we can see everything is red, which is not what we want. Let's change this to -0.2. And there we can see our fire is popping out in black. Our burned area is popping out in black, and our unburned area is red. Let's go ahead and change this. We can change this actually to be transparent, like this. And we can change this. Let's make this red. So we'll just slide our color wheel over here, make this red. And now we can, oops, now we can see where that burned area is. And now we can adjust this value and maybe make this negative 0.1. And that fills in a little more. You can also see that we have some other areas popping out as potential burns that probably aren't burns. But you can see it gives us a really good starting point for this, okay? All right, so now we've identified the likely area that burned. We can maybe even adjust this. I'm gonna try negative 0.15. Zoom in and see how this looks. I think I like negative 0.1 a little better. So we're gonna do that, and that's gonna be what we're going to use to find our burned areas. Okay, so we've kind of put this here to show we're displaying our burned areas, just with the NBR. What I want to do is I want to take this and make it its own layer. And to do that, I'm going to use raster calculator again. So let's go raster calculator. And we want to grab NBR August. And we want to say where this is less than negative 0.1. Okay. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us a raster that is burned and unburned. And I'll show you what this looks like. Let's save this to a file. And let's call this August burned unburned. So what we'll get here is we'll get a 1 where this is true and a 0 where it's false. So let's go ahead and click OK to run this. And once again, oh, there we go. We're done. So we have a 1 where it is true and a 0 where it is false. Okay, pretty simple to do. Now, let's close that out for now. Okay, so we've identified where our burned areas are. The next thing we want to do is we want to identify the severity of the burn. And we're going to do that by calculating the delta NBR. The delta NBR is just the difference between a time before the fire and a time after the fire. And I'll show you how we do that right now. And we also do that using the raster calculator. All right, so let's go, and I'm going to go to raster calculator, and we're going to take NBR June minus NBR August. We're going to save this to a file. We're going to call this delta NBR. Okay, let's save this, and let's click OK to run this. Once again, I'll pause while this calculates. It might take just, oh, it didn't take very long. Okay, good to know. Okay, so now we have our delta NBR. If we look at this, notice this color bar, we'll notice we have high delta NBR in areas that burned and low delta NBR in areas that did not burn. You'll also notice we have high delta NBR in some of these agricultural fields, which experienced a lot of change between our pre and post fire dates. We can eliminate some of those, I think, I hope. If let's turn on our burned and unburned, and let's see where these overlap. So we can see that a lot of those agricultural fields show up as unburned. So if we intersect these files, we can start to figure out where our fire is and what its severity is. Now, the way we're going to do this is we want to get rid of anything that's not burned. Okay, so whether these areas here, some of these might be a little erroneous, but we can at least start to pick out this area here and get rid of the agricultural fields. And we can do that with one more raster calculation. So we can do raster calculator, and we can multiply our burned and unburned, multiply here, by delta NBR. So remember, this has a 0 where it was unburned. So if we multiply these, anything in delta NBR will come to 0 that was unburned. Okay, and anything in delta NBR that is greater, or anything in delta N, anything that was burned gets multiplied by 1, so we'll retain the value of delta NBR. Let's do this, And let's go call this delta NBR for the burned area. And let's save that, and let's click OK to run this. It's taking just a second, but it won't be too long. And once we have this, we're going to have our burned area. And look, we filtered out a lot of those areas where that were unburned, but we had information for. Okay, so we can really see that fire and that burned area here pop out, and we're losing a lot of those agricultural fields. So I'm going to just turn off a lot of these layers to clean things up for us. This is what we're going to work with here. And now what we can do is we can go just symbolize this a little bit to get our burn severity map, because the delta NBR can tell us how severely an area burned. You'll want to go look these values up, and we're using band 8A and not band 8, so they could be a little different. We're going to symbolize it nonetheless so you can see how to get a fire severity map. So let's go in and let's change this to single band pseudo color. Let's change this interpolation to discrete. Let's click classify. Well, let's click equal interval. And I think we want, I think it's 4 classes. We're going to click classify. And now we can start, we want 5 classes, 5 classes, classify. And now we can put these values in. So the highest severity, so high severity is 0.66 and greater, so this light color. And then we have 0.44, 0.27, and 0.1. So anything less than 0.1 would be considered unburned. And then we have our severity for these additional classes. As we look at it here, we can see we had some small high severity areas, and the rest of this was a lot of it was severe with some low severity areas around the edges. Right, so that is how you can identify wildfires and how you can calculate the extent of a wildfire. Now, one final thing you can do is you could take the burned and unburned areas. You could take these areas where we have NBR that is greater than 0.1, and you could once again make an burned, unburned, and you could then go ahead and you could convert that to a polygon if you wanted a polygon outline of where the fire was. That might take a little extra work and some digitizing to fix things up, but this gives you the basic idea. As always, I hope this was useful. If you have ideas for future videos, feel free to leave a comment below. And remember to check out open source options to see those free courses and if they might be something you are interested in.